This isn't just a ghost story. It's a bone-chilling account of real horror experienced by one man. This workplace nightmare, rooted in the shocking true events of a colleague who died and came back to life, follows an ordinary car salesman. What happened to him? Let's step into his story. Our protagonist, Kim Hyun-soo, was no ordinary man. He couldn't see ghosts or speak with spirits, but he had an uncanny knack for sensing trouble and predicting events with eerie precision. His intuition was so sharp, he could tell where a rookie employee was sent for promotions, or even catch colleagues slacking off at golf or billiards, calling them out with pinpoint accuracy. Kim Hyun-soo worked as a specialty vehicle salesman in South Korea's Chungcheong region, a tale set 15 years ago. His days were spent crisscrossing cities, meeting clients, and sealing deals. With summer vacation approaching, he planned a fishing trip, a passion he cherished despite rarely catching anything worth boasting about. One day, while chatting with a close acquaintance, Park Young-chul at the office, Kim mentioned his fishing plans. Park's eyes gleamed. "Perfect timing," he said, offering to connect Kim with someone he knew on a remote island, a hidden gem for fishing. Thinking it was a jest, Palm was stunned. Kim was stunned when Park promptly called, booked everything, and set the schedule. Thrilled at the unexpected opportunity, Kim eagerly awaited his trip to the island. On departure day, an unsettling feeling gripped Kim as he stepped out of his house. His shoelaces, always double knotted, were inexplicably untied. As he bent to fix them, he noticed the air conditioner, switched off earlier, humming to life. A chilling thought struck him. Something's wrong. It's like the world's trying to stop me. Shaking off the unease, he turned off the air conditioner, retied his laces, and drove to the meeting point, suppressing a growing sense of dread. At a small coastal dock, a fishing boat awaited. Excited about a secret fishing spot, Kim boarded eagerly. The captain, a man of few words, steered for an hour until the mainland vanished, revealing a small island. Its rugged coastline, battered by waves and sparse trees, made it not a barren rock, but rugged with a small hill, habitable yet wild. The captain promised to return in 3 days and departed. Kim was greeted by Choi, the island's host, introduced by Park. Choi explained that only 3 households lived there, sustaining themselves by working on the mainland. Kim was led to Choi's house, home to 2 laborers in their late 50s and early 50s, one with a noticeable limp. Eager to fish, Kim unpacked and headed to the rocky shore. Soon after casting, a strong tug came. Expecting a black porgy, a local prize, he reeled in a massive snakehead fish, an oddity for saltwater. Puzzled but unfazed, he glanced at his net and froze. A pale, discolored human head floated in the water. Startled, he fell back and awoke. It was a dream. Shaken, he set aside his rod, lost in uneasy thoughts. As dusk settled, Kim returned to the salt farm, where Choi and the laborers prepared dinner. They ate and chatted amicably before Kim retired to bed. The next morning, someone roused him, but his body felt leaden, his mind foggy. Curious about the salt farm, he followed Choi. Unlike the sprawling salt farms on the mainland, this one was small. Its ground a gritty mix of dirt and salt crystals. Something about it felt deeply unsettling. Exhausted for harm, who form at the salt farm to earn his keep. Kim collapsed on the grass nearby and fell into a deep sleep. In his dream, a man in tattered rags appeared, delivering a chilling warning. Leave now. Fleeing is your only chance to live. The man urged him to explore the island's backside and vanished, saying he could offer no further help. Kim awoke to find himself not at the salt farm, but back in Choi's house. Choi claimed Kim had collapsed from heat stroke and was carried back. Though unwell, Kim refused to let his vacation go to waste and went fishing again. Beneath the starry sky, he felt a fleeting calm, but fell asleep once more, tormented by relentless nightmares. The next morning, the day he was meant to leave, he fished again, despite crippling fatigue and dizziness. In another dream, the ragged man reappeared, urgently repeating his plea to escape. Awakening, Kim found the sun had set and the boat was gone. Confronting Choi, he demanded answers. Choi, feigning concern, said Kim had collapsed again and was brought back. Kim couldn't fathom why he was so drained and drowsy. Choi mentioned a supply boat would arrive in 3 days with gas and food, advising him to wait. Trapped in total isolation, no phone signal, surrounded by endless sea, Kim felt a desperate urge to escape. Checking his watch, he was stunned. He thought only 4 days had passed, but over a week had slipped by. Why hadn't he checked the time before? Was he dreaming, or was reality itself unraveling? Confusion and terror consumed him. Regaining his composure, Kim wandered the empty house and recalled the ragged man's advice. Despite his frail state, he trekked to the island's backside beyond a small hill. There, a barren field stretched out, littered with pig bones, and among them, a gold-crowned tooth embedded in what looked like a pig's jaw. His mind reeled. Pigs don't have gold teeth. This is human. A horrifying truth dawned, intensified by the sensation of being watched, though no one was in sight. The others' houses seemed deserted. Sensing the island's dark secrets, fear overwhelmed him. Back at the house, Kim ate dinner, his unease mounting. Choi persistently offered him water, which Kim refused, citing his health. After dinner, he asked Choi how long he'd been on the island. 3 days, Choi replied casually. Furious, Kim shouted, "It's been over a week." Choi smirked, muttering, "Time for the fast-track training then." Suddenly, Choi and the 2 laborers began brutally beating Kim, stopping just short of death. They forced him to drink the water he'd rejected. Kim's mind grew hazy. His nerves frayed from the beatings. The next day, he was dragged to the salt farm and forced to toil under the scorching sun. The repetitive, pointless labor, shoveling salt that didn't even accumulate, paired with periodic beatings and forced water intake, broke him. Fear of the next blow left him trembling. Collapsing in despair, he felt himself fading into a hollow, obedient shell. Kim came to in a small shed beside the salt farm, surrounded by stacked burlap sacks and a foul, musty stench. A hammer, sickle, and knife lay nearby. Sensing his last chance, he hid the hammer and sickle in the sacks and tucked the knife into his waistband. When the 3 men returned to beat him again, Kim feigned submission, then seized the hammer and struck one, knocking him out. As another charged, Kim swung the sickle, felling him with a scream. In the chaos, he overpowered Choi, the last man standing. Threatening Choi with the sickle, Kim forced him to raise his hands and bound them with rope, dragging him to the boat. Kim held the sickle to Choi's throat and ordered him to steer toward the mainland. Though he fumbled with the boat, Kim stayed awake, driven by a desperate will to live, knives in hand, until they neared the mainland. Spotting his car at the dock, he threw Choi to the ground, clumsily piloted the boat to shore, and sprinted to his vehicle. Using the numeric keypad on his car's alarm, he started the engine and sped away. Feeling sharper than ever in his life, escaping at last, Kim stopped at a quiet spot to rest before heading to his mother's house. Seeing his reflection in a full-length mirror, he froze. His tattered, bloodied appearance mirrored the ragged man from his dreams, as if the mysterious figure who warned him had merged with him. After receiving medical treatment and reporting the incident, Kim faced another shock. The case stalled. It wasn't just one officer's negligence. The entire region seemed entangled in a shadowy network, leaving him powerless. Devastated, he quit his job and fled the area. Years later, his grandmother, showing early dementia, was prescribed a medication that tasted eerily like the water forced upon him on the island. Soon after, news broke of a salt farm slavery scandal in the region. Reports revealed that even healthy individuals were reduced to obedient shells through enslavement, though no one knew why. Reflecting on his ordeal, Kim believed he understood how people were broken into fools. He said, "If I'd stayed longer, I'd have become one too. My ancestors, or perhaps the vengeful spirit of someone killed on that island, saved me." To this day, Kim remains haunted by the experience. He tried reporting it, but gave up, fearing retaliation. He learned a grim truth: humans can be far scarier than ghosts. The process of breaking a person through fear and violence, like taming a dog, isn't limited to animals. It happens to people too. This isn't merely a horror story. It's a survival tale exposing human cruelty in isolated settings. I hope you never encounter a place like this island. Please remember that it's not a region or profession at fault, but the actions of individuals. I kindly ask you to refrain from speculating about the island's location. Thank you.